Hey there everyone, Sunny here, and welcome to the second half of the Spiral replays for April of 2023. I document interesting videos that I have while climbing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel Ladder with Spyrals. And as you can see, I'm fighting against a Spright player, and the reason being was after finished recording the first half of April's video, I decided to do some last minute climbing to Diamond 1, and these were some of the decks I faced while climbing to Diamond 1 before Tearlaments hit Master Duel. So of course that's why my opponent is playing Spright, and I'm still playing the same deck that I did in my previous video, where it is a very going second focus deck with, as you can see, I have stuff like Pancratops and Triple Tactics Talents in my hand. So let's just fast forward the video a bit to the point where my opponent has set up his Endboard. Also, I do apologize that this video is out late because I think by the time I finish recording the video, it'll be May, and that's because I did encounter some computer issues which prevented me from recording this. So yeah. Anyways, we do see an Endboard of 2 back rows, a Gene Buster, a Spright Red, and I guess now a Spright Carrot. Yeah. And this is what I have to stop. So first I baited the preparation of Rex, but they do have an Ash, which is unfortunate, but at least we know that they're not having a Maxx C. So then I open with Spiral Resorts because I do have my Magician Souls and Quick Fix at hand, so the Spiral Resort could be negated, and it's fine by me. So surely enough, it is negated by Spright Carrot. That's fine. He draws a card. So now anyways, I try to destroy the back row, but Gene Buster negated it. That's fine as well. So now I use Triple Tactics Talent to take over the Spright Red because that's the only card they have left other than the back row that has not activated its effects yet. So now with Spright Red down, I'm gonna get my Quick Fix to get Big Red, and which he revealed Spright Smashes to banish my Quick Fix. That is still fine by me because I now use Magician Souls to bring Master Pen into the graveyard and Big Red to get Master Pen onto the field, and now they don't have any interruptions against my hand. So I go into Celine, and this is where I could go into my Spiral combo and break their board. And that would be the end of the story. So this is just a continuation of the combo I'm trying to do. I think soon enough my opponent would surrender. I think it's about right about now. Yep. So yeah, this is just another going second board breaking against Spright video. So let's just go on to the next duel. So this duel, I'm up against a stun player who I guess is very committed to stun, as you will see later, based on what he revealed in his deck. So of course he used Upstart, he used Runick, and I negate that with Ash, and then he has 4 back row. So I have full combo. Of course that's unless he tries to stop me with his back row. And then he reveals Skill Drain, Royal Finish Skill Drain. I managed to use the effect of Super Agent to, because he was playing Runick, right? So I called spells and I called correctly. Unfortunately, he went into his Moonin to block my Super Agent. Thankfully, Skill Drain is in effect, so he can't heal his 1000 life points. But unfortunately, I do not have anything that could beat over his Moonin. Then of course he he plays his Runick Fountain, the one he drew. So now my end objective is to try to get into Spiral Sleeper. This is a strategy that most Spiral players, employ if they were to face against a stun deck. Spiral Sleeper and Spiral Last Resort are one of the most effective ways of dealing with stun, if you could pull it off. Of course, as you can see, as I want to go for Magician Souls, it plays there can be only one. So I'm just going to use my Unicorn to destroy the Moonin. But now you see there's another Royal Finish Floodgate. So he is a very dedicated stun player, I could tell. he tries to destroy my back row, that's fine. It's called by. Called by is kind of useless in this deck. Tries to shuffle the cards, but you sometimes you do have a bad hand. So now it's my turn, and I got big red, and this is just what I needed to win. Special summon Magician Souls, going to Link Kuriboh, so I could use big red to get Master Pen up because they're both spellcasters. So going to Barricade Board Blocker, so Master Pen's Grave effect triggers, and I get my Sleeper and Spiral Resort. Using Spiral Resort, I get my Last Resort. And the reason why I want 2 bodies just now to go into Barricade Board Blocker is in case if the Runick player has an effect to destroy my field spell, Barricade... Oh wait, never mind, it's fine, doesn't matter. Barricade Board Blocker doesn't block it. But anyways, I go into from Nightmare Unicorn, I go into Tri-Gate Wizard because Nightmare Unicorn is a fiend, just like Spiral Sleeper. Thanks to their make only one, I have to do this strange play. So now I've destroyed his monster, but I'm still not out in the woodwork yet. So he sets 1 and pass once more. So now my second trick I can pull is to use Spiral Resort to get Spiral Gear Drones. Summon Spiral Gear Drones, activate its effect, and chain link 2 for its secondary effect. Because Spiral Gear Drones has an effect where I could just tribute this card on chain link as a quick effect to get a Spiral monster 500 attack for each card they control. And so of course my Sleeper is now at 4800 attack. And the best part about doing this chain link, this quick effect, is that I could dodge the skill drain, and I could also manipulate the top card of the opponent's deck. And then of course, using Spiral Gear Last Resort effect, I'm gonna go and swing directly for game. So this is how you would try to beat stun with Spirals. Usually you would try to have a Sleeper, but most importantly you need drones, like some way to recycle drones to give an attack boost. Last resort, so you can go for a direct attack. So let's just move on to the next duel. So again, just to remind you guys that all these duels happen before Tearlaments hit Master Duel. So that's why I'm currently fighting my third opponent, being a branded Ishizu deck. Because Tearlaments is... If Tearlaments were here, I'm pretty sure this guy is going to be playing Tearlaments, but... So we do see branded things. They go into Mirror Jade, back Muse, nothing of significance from my side. And then, so now I have to deal with one of the Hex Dragons. And I have to deal with branded Banishment and another set card. So I activate Spiral Resort, get my Quick Fix, use my Quick Fix, get my drones. So that's why he tries to use his branded in red, which is why he got a branded Banishment just now. But thankfully, I drew Call by the Grave, so I could just banish ad libitum. So that so now that triggers him to use his branded Banishment. And he gets another Text Dragon. And with the effect of ad libitum, he gets his Mirror Jade back, and so now I have to pay double the tax while Mirror Jade tries to banish my Quick Fix. Thankfully, I have my other going second tool, that is Forbidden Droplet, so I am going to discard a bunch of cards to negate all 3 effects. I specifically discarded my drones and the Spiral Mission Rescue since I've used my normal summon for the turn. So I could banish Mission Rescue to bring drones out. So now I can go into Spiral Double Helix, and I know what card my opponent has on the top of his deck. And doing all that without having to use triple tactics talent as of now. So yeah. So at this point, I do believe triple tactics talent, if I were to use it, would be probably like a win more for my current state, because I managed to break his board. So I summon Magician Souls back with the effect of Celine because I have not used Magician Soul's effect to draw 2 cards by discarding two spells or traps. So yeah, after seeing my Magician Souls drawing 2 cards for myself, my opponent just surrenders. So let's just go to the next duel. So all this while, when I do my replays, I have been showing games where I've won. But this duel is an exception, where this is a game where I lost. Fighting against a guy who has gotten silver in the Duelist Cup before. He leads with he leads by throwing his Dimension Shifter, and I couldn't do anything with my current hand because 1-for-1 sends to the grave. And so I pass it to his turn, and I see that he's playing Crystal Beast. This is in Diamond 2, so I was pretty shocked to see someone playing Crystal Beast in Diamond 2. And as a person who bought the Crystal Beast structure decks for the staples, I kinda have no idea what the Crystal Beasts do, so I was just looking in awe as I see that he uses the Sapphire Pegasus to attack me for 3600. So yeah, I have no idea what this deck does, and I'm just pretty impressed by how he's but maybe you could say that he's lucky, probably because he had Dimension Shifter in his opening hand. So I try to do whatever I can to win him. Of course, he used his Crystal Miracle, his counter spell. Then he bounces my Quick Fix back to the hand, bring out Ruby Carbuncle, so I use Droplet to negate the Ruby Carbuncle, so I could use Big Red to retrieve Quick Fix, and Quick Fix to get my drones because I have not used my normal summon yet. But he has a Judgment. Fantastic Judgment, I would say. So now I tried to bring out my Sleeper to see what I could do to salvage this. I wasn't reading the cards, so I did not realize that he could just destroy my... He could just do this to my Sleeper, so I just destroy my own field and bring up Super Agent. I negate the card of Extravagance, but again, my opponent has a decent hand, so yeah, I couldn't beat his hand. And again, I don't really have a full idea on how the Crystal Beast deck works, so I'm just watching him schooling me as he brings out his monsters to swing me for game. So yeah, I mean, I still save this replay anyways because I've not fought a Crystal Beast deck until now, and I thought it was an interesting replay. Yeah, but I did get the L, but eventually I still reached Diamond 1. So let's just go to the next duel where I don't lose. So I believe this is the last of the replays that I have before Tearlaments, and this is against a Mathmech player, where again I'm going second. But I do have my triple tactics talents, so there is something I could do about it. I ashed the Cyanide Mining, thankfully that worked, but he still has a backup plan. He goes into 7 Great Almirage to go into Parallel Exceed, to a second Parallel Exceed to go into Prime Mathmech Evolution, which allows him to get his Circular and go for his Mathmech combo. So yeah, so now I'm just gonna fast forward this just to, I mean, I'm really fast forwarding the video, so we could go into his Endboard. Yeah, thankfully he has a backup plan, and so he goes into Transport Talker and Equal Talker Heat Soul. So now he went into Smaller to get his Mathmech Edition. I wasn't sure what he was doing that for, and then he go into G Golden Crystal Heart. So yeah, that is his Endboard. One set card, one Decode Talker, Transport Talker, and a G Golden Crystal Heart. So now it's my turn. He draw his card with Heat Soul. Thankfully it wasn't a Maxx C. So of course, I tried to get my Master Plan back. Then he reveals a Super Factorial. That's fine by me. he's going to go into Leplesian. So this is when I'm going to use a Forbidden Droplet to negate the effect of Leplesian and Transcode Talker. Because my master plan was sent to the graveyard by the effect of Forbidden Droplet, its graveyard effect triggers and I get my Super Agent and Spiral Resort. So I use Spiral Resort to get Sleeper, and then I go get Big Red, and we can go into our typical Spiral combo. So again, I didn't use Triple Tactics Talent, although I can, which I will. I just want to see what he got, and he got Mudora. And because I put Mudora back into the deck, I had to view the top of his deck once more to verify. I mean, view the top of his deck with drones to verify before I go into my Spiral Double Helix. But of course, he surrenders, so that's great. So this is it. So I was able to reach Diamond 1 before Tearlaments hit. So when Tearlaments hit, I revised my deck accordingly. And unfortunately, I'm unable to play a decent deck unless I incorporate Tearlaments into my Spiral deck, into my Spirals. So let me just show you the deck that I'm using right now. So this is the current deck I'm using to climb to Diamond in the month of May, and it's a deck that I've gotten online from the Master Duel website. So it just maxes out on as many tier cards except Rhino Heart, and also the Ishizu cards because we want to milk. This is a 60 card deck, so the advantages is that you are immune to opponent playing the grass looks greener when they do open with the grass looks greener when you're going second. Of course, you have things like the Rainbow Bridge of Salvation, which allows you to get Emerald Tortoise and also one of your field spells, which you run 4 of because 3 Spiral Resort and one of the Tearlament field spell. You run Super Polymerization to try to fuse out your opponent's Tearlaments to something of your own. And yeah, you don't have access foot, but you do have Topologic Zeroboros because you can try to board white by banishing everything if things gets dire. But yeah, the combos in this deck is very non-linear. And also, because this is the month of May, I did make some changes into the deck. Previously, Foolish Burial Goats was at 3, so of course now it's at 1. And previously, Instant Fusion was at 1, and now it's banned. So in lieu of that, I put in 3 Infinite Impermanence so that there are other ways to disrupt opponent's tier cards. Because like one of the choke points in Tearlaments is you can try to use Infinite Impermanence onto the opponent's kit colors. So yeah, that's why I swap out the limited card and ban cards to bring in Infinite Impermanence. So as you can see, this deck is kind of complicated, so I guess I shall describe what kind of endboard you are expecting to see. The kind of endboard you would want to have is endboard with Appaloosa or some monster negates, Spright Elf, so you could bring Merly on your opponent's turn to mill 3 and continue your tier combo. Of course, you want Rukalos because you want to negate a summon, and ideally you would want to find a way to get Sharon and Super Agent or Fairy Tail Snow to either one of these 3 cards, or even Mudora or any of the Ishizu 4-star cards to XC summon into Abyss Dweller on your opponent's turn. So this is kind of ideal endboard you should be trying to get with this whole combo. And how the combo would work is kind of flexible, but if possible, go for the Spiral combo first, then proceed with the the Tearlaments side of the combo. So let's just I'll just show you a replay of what kind of combo I've managed to accomplish with this deck. So this was a game I played in a local tournament, I would say, but it's not something that I took seriously, to be honest. I was just playing against a player who was using Swordsoul, So I open with this, a hand like this. Of course, I have preparation of rights, and I have my quick fix so I can do my full spiral combo. So what you want to do is the basic spiral stuff at first. Go into Magician Souls and quick fix to master plan. Then special summon drones to see what my opponent is bringing. For now, the combo seems pretty standard, but of course, later on I'll show you what are the differences once we hit the Tearlaments side of things. So we need to hit 3 dark monsters to go into Curious. So how we go about that is to go to Barricade Bolt Blocker, Link Kuribo, and either Magician Souls or Master Plan to go into Curious. So from using Curious, one of the things you want to mill is a Rainbow Bridge of Salvation, which allows you to get your Primeval Planet. So of course now you guys can see things gets a bit non-linear once you're able to mill Tearlaments out of the effect of Curious. So of course now I get Kid Colors, so I'm just gonna use Kid Colors to get Halfness, use its effect to summon Merly, and now I'm gonna mill 8. So of course, if you know your opponent is not playing a graveyard focused deck and you mill an Ishizu card, go ahead and mill as much as you want from your opponent's side of your opponent's deck. But if you have an inkling in suspecting that your opponent is playing a Tearlament deck, which you probably would be able to realize since you're playing Spirals and you're able to view the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, then maybe you would not consider to use any of the Ishizu millers on your opponent because you may trigger their effects. So of course, this is what the ideal endboard that you're looking for, where you have a Spright Elf, Rukalos, Appaloosa, Steeper, and a Beast Dweller. Of course, if you have Tearlament Crime, that'll be amazing. But yeah, so yeah, you discard. So my opponent is gonna try to valiantly do some things. Yeah, it's fine. They take control of the Sleeper, very smart of them, but it's only for 1 turn. We go into Kaleido Heart to spin the Sleeper back. So yeah, although this deck is cool and all, and it's no doubt really powerful, I do still feel a bit weird running this deck because, again, it's like, you know, putting meta for the sake of climbing to diamond instead of like playing full Spirals, because unfortunately Spirals if I were to play full Spirals, it's gonna be tough in this current format until they greatly hit the Tearlaments and Ishizu cards. So fortunately, this is the deck I'm running right now, and I would show you some replays in Diamond 1 where this deck is able to basically mill your opponent's deck. So because Tearlaments usually don't summon a lot, at most they go into Kid Colors, Rukalos, and maybe they don't really summon as much as like Spirals, right? But with Spirals, you do summon a lot. So in a case where you get Maxx C, if your opponent is not playing Tearlaments, you could just go for the Maxx C challenge, like what I'm doing right now. My opponent is playing Sprites in Diamond 1. So I go into Quick Fix. So yeah, I would use Spiral Resort to get drones, but I'm in Diamond 1 and I don't mind losing, so I just went into drones, into quick fix and then into drones just to see what happens. And my opponent, of course, when I saw he's playing sprites, I thought, okay, that's fine. If you're playing sprites, I think I could mill your entire deck, since I noticed he was playing a 40 card deck. So of course, you want to try to summon as much as possible, and of course, you need to try and get your Ishizu millers into the graveyard. I went into Apr'23 because I do fear the Nibiru disrupting my plans. I use Barricade Blocker to send Kel back into the graveyard, because Kel back's effect states that it's able to trigger its mute effect when it is sent to the graveyard, regardless of whether it's sent by cost or sent by a card effect. Whereas the Tearlaments cards states that it effect triggers when it's sent to graveyard as an effect instead of as a cost. So yeah, the intricacies of this is pretty important, because sometimes you could use like Barricade Blocker to discard for cost, but you know, for Tearlaments that doesn't work. It will not trigger its effect. So at this point, I've used both my millers, Kelback and Agido, and I can see my opponent only has 10 cards left. So now I'm doing my best to try to mill as much as I can with the remaining cards I have. So of course I go into the Beast Dweller, get my master plan again. Oh, you see that level 1? Okay, Link. We get the Link Koribo. Get the Nightmare Unicorn just for fun. Fairy Tail Snow. Sacrifice Fairy Tail Snow just because. Get Sleeper out. Opponent has 1 card left. Okay, Fairy Tail Snow once more. Yeah. So you can barely mill the opponent's whole deck, thanks to Maxx C and in combination with the Ishizu cards. But of course, it's kind of ballsy, but I do felt like I want to show this replay. Let's go into the next duel. So I also have to preface this that while I know Tearlaments is like after realizing Tearlaments is really good, I really didn't play the deck that much because I hit Diamond 1. So I do apologize if my matchup against my matchup knowledge and everything is still pretty bad, I would say, against some of the opponents, because I don't really play the real card, the TCG or OCG. So of course my opponent is gonna use Herald of Arclight to negate my quick fix, and he decides to mill my deck because he thought that I'm not playing Tearlaments. So this is the I would say sort of advantage of playing SPYRAL Tearlaments, because if you open the SPYRAL combo, your opponents will be like, oh, he's just playing Spirals. It's fine. I think I am able to throw some. I'm able to disrupt him with a Kelback or some sorts, right? But then later on, when they realize that you're actually playing SPYRAL Tearlaments, then it's a bit too late for them, because they have already extended their plays into milling both your deck and their own deck. Then you're like, okay, now it's a matter of who gets a good meal or who just outplays who. Yeah. So of course, now we have all the graveyard effects triggering. Mudora is gonna shuffle my Merlee back, but he's able to successfully use its effects to get Kid Carlos, because I didn't have any of my Ishizu shufflers in my graveyard. Nevertheless, I go into Magician Souls and I try to use the Vision Rescue, get Master Plan, go into Barricade Blocker. I'm gonna use it to, if I'm not mistaken, I did not discard anything. Yeah. So I go into drones. I caught monsters correctly. So now I can go into my spiral combo. Or not. Yeah, I decided to end my board like this. I can't remember why I did that. I thought I could have went for Spiral Double Helix. Yeah, so I tried to negate as much as I can, but of course Hafnis went through, and with that Nashador Ariel tries to, well, destroy, like shuffle some of my cards back. I use Fairy Tale Snow to flip the Kid Color's face down. He pays 5,000 life points to no avail. Spright Elf gonna bring back Diviner of Heralds to continue to mill more cards with Hellback. And so I thought, okay, if you wanna mill, let's just mill some more cards. So now a bunch of effects are gonna be triggered. And of course, Mudora is gonna be here to shuffle some of the cards back to prevent fusion summonings from happening. And Agido joins the fray, along with Kelbeck, to, I guess, go into an XC summon, I think. Oh no, it's not XC summon, it's just Baron the Fleur. They're gonna destroy my Spiral Resort, that's fine. I bait his Omni Negate to do just that. Yeah. Because I knew that I tried to use Spiral Mission Rescue to revive Quick Fix, and of course I baited the Omni Negate so I could use Steeper's effect to pop Resort and pop 2 cards. Yeah. So now he's gonna shuffle itself back and bring Merly out and new 3, milling Hafnis, going into Rukalos. I went to Zeroboros because I milled a lot of cards thanks. I banished a lot of cards thanks to Fairy Tale Snow. So I thought, okay, I'll just go for game. So yeah, so there's one of the cases where I thought, oh, okay, I see the light. I see that I can use Zeroboros and swing for game. So yeah, this is the end of all the Spiral replays I have, but I do have one bonus replay, which is from the the 4 attribute festival. So let's go into that replay. So when Tearlaments hit Master Duel, I was kind of annoyed because I can't really play my a pure Spiral deck into its because even when Quick Fix is unlimited now, I still have to deal with Tearlaments which are really powerful. Fortunately, the Attribute 4 Festival was very fun to me because I was playing one of my favorite decks to play in that I used to play in Axis Festival, and that's the rank 10 trades. This replay was really hilarious to me because of what happened in the end. So I Maxx C my opponent when he played Prank Kids Roxys, so they ended their turn. Then of course they Maxx C me when I tried to use my urgent schedule, so I thought of just destroying his Roxys with the double-headed Anger Knuckle. Upon summoning Roxys, I use urgent schedule, and then my opponent reveals a second Maxx C. So he would get another card. Of course, with that Maxx C, with the urgent schedule, I get Ruffin Rail card and also Super Express Bullet. While my opponent is just going into his Kids Head Emancipator-ish combo. He went into Nightmare Phoenix to destroy my Barrage Blast, and this is gonna be important for later. So he swings, but of course he can't swing for game. Using the effect of both of Ruffin Race card and both Super Express Bullet, I get Heavy Fright Train and also Ruffin Race card back into my hand. So now I'm gonna draw and I'm gonna normal summon the flying. No, first I'm gonna Lightning Storm. Of course, he banishes my Express Bullet, so I'm not able to activate its effect from the hand. Wait, hold on. What did he banish again? Yeah, he banished that. Yeah, okay. So now I'm gonna exit summon both of them for good stuff max. Burn for 2000. Destroy the Phoenix. Go into Juggernaut. 6000 attack. Not able to swing for game. So now it's my opponent's turn, and he found just the out he needed. In mini phase 2, he's able to set up his board thanks to crashing with Zeno Guitar. I think that's his name. Yeah, Zeno Guitar. And now he is able to do his Emancipator stuff. Okay, for Chimero Guardian, going to Reptide. Get the Guardian, going to Cerberus, and this is where he makes his mistake. Because Barrage Blast has a graveyard effect. So yeah, that was his mistake, and I thought it was interesting to show this. So anyways, thanks for watching. For the May replays, I will probably show Spiral Tearlament. I'll still play the Spiral Tearlament deck, but I think I'll show replays that were exclusively where the Spiral part of the deck came through instead of the Tearlament part of the deck, because I think there'll be a lot of replays involving Tearlaments around, so I don't think it's gonna be wise to just focus on the Tears. I think I wanted to show what makes the Spiral Tears deck a little bit different from a typical Tearlament deck. So moving on to next month, if there is any replays that it was a clutch game and it mainly involved the Spiral part of the deck, I think I'll show that instead. So thanks for watching. This video has gone on for a bit longer than I expected, but yeah. See you in the next replays.